I just want to announce the sponsors. One of the sponsors wants to remain anonymous. Yehoshua Ellis sponsored the cover of Yehoshua, son and nachas. You should have a lot of nachas from all your children. And it's also the four shlema of Mordechai ben Saras, another sponsor. Should have the four shlema talk shar for Yisroel.
Amen. Okay, Bereshus, the Rav Shlita, and my father Shlita, just wanted to express, of course, a taiv that the Rav here and all the Mispalim provide such a makom Torah, such a place of tefillah, and I know my father has a lot of chizuk, and I hear a lot of people saying that my father gives them chizuk. So Baruch Hashem, it's 9 points upon him. So I'm just bringing you a bracha that he should continue, the Rav should continue with all his slavas and his avodas Hashem, and continue giving chizuk to the whole kehila.
Amen.
So I'm going to speak about over here this week's Sedra, Kairach, who had a big machlokes with Moshe Rabbeinu. And we have to learn from this machlokes. But we shouldn't chas v'shalom be nifshal in anything that Kairach wanted to make a machlokes about. One of the things that Kairach wanted to make a machlokes about was about Kehuna. He wanted to make a machlokes on the Kehuna. It says in the pasuk, "V'yakrav v'yisrael es kol ha'kechad b'nei Levi yitoch v'kashtim gam Kehuna." He wanted gam also Kehuna. Therefore, I thought we would learn a little bit about the halachos of Kehuna in order for us to understand what kind of chashivas we have to give to a kohen, and also maybe some kind of halachos that can come out from this as well, some kedushim that can come out from this. So first of all, like this, the Gemara says, the Gemara Gittin Daf Nun Testament Aleph, the Gemara says, "Eil dvarim amru bnei Darkei Shalom." These are things that we should say bnei Darkei Shalom to make things to be noyeg al Darkei Shalom, the peaceful manner. We do it this way. Kohen Rishon, the first one that we call out for the Torah as a Kohen. V'achrav Levi, and afterwards the Levi, v'achrav Yisroel, and afterwards we call out Yisroel. So Gemara discusses and asks, why is that so? So why do we call a Kohen first when it comes to Kriyas HaTorah? The Gemara gives different answers, and one of the answers the Gemara says is V'kidashtoi. It's a pasuk in Vayikra, Perek Chaf Aleph, V'kidashtoi, that we have to be mekadosh the Kohen. L'chol davar shebekdusha. Gemara brings down a brayso time Rabbi Shmuel v'kidashti l'chol davar shebekdusha lift koyach rishon. He should open first. He should be the first one to give the drasha when they're giving drasha. So l'varech rishon. He should be the first one to make the amaitzi or to make the berachas hamazon. Ulita mana yafa rishon. He should take the good portion first. And the Gemara goes to the extent and says, well, then why does the Mishnah say only because of Darkei Shalom you should get the Aliyah? If it's Minat Torah you should get the Aliyah. And the Gemara answers the Teretz. The Gemara says that you're talking right. It's taka halacha Minat Torah. This halacha b'kidash is a zikr Minat Torah. And the only thing the Gemara is saying is the Mishnah is saying that even if the Kohen is Michael in the situation of Kriyas HaTorah, he's not allowed to be Michael. We have to have the Kohen be the first one to go ahead and have the Aliyah. Shouldn't make machlokes in the shul. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And therefore it's a status quo. This is how, the status quo that the Kohen gets the Aliyah first. But otherwise, we have halacha v'kidashtoi. So halacha l'maisa, you're waiting in line in the supermarket and you want to go ahead and buy something. And you know there's a Kohen behind you. You're mechuyev to go ahead and let the Kohen go first in order for you to become the mitzvah of a kiddashtoi. I don't think that the minhag is like that. I don't think people are so forthcoming and looking around to see if there's a Kohen there. But the question is, why not? You could make a deal from the Beis. The Gemara says the Beis is mashma chol davar shebekdusha, any davar shebekdusha. But the truth is that it could be. But one of the things that the Gemara brings down is little chelak mana yafa rishon. He should get the first portion. He should get the best portion. You divide something up, some with mezainis or whatever it is. the kohen should get the first portion. It doesn't seem to be a davar shebekdusha. Tosfos actually does learn over here. Tosfos says, "Kigoyin meiser ani oitztaka imhu ani." So it could be that there is some kind of a reach mitzvah in these things. People giving tzedakah or meiser, so maybe it could be incorporated in the ruach of davar shebekdusha, where waiting in line in the supermarket wouldn't seem to apply this halacha. But however, Rashi brings down, not like that, money often means kibshutai. That anytime you make a division, in Bal Nachlik, in Yisroel, B'chol Dover, La'acha Shecholtu, anything, you should go ahead and say, Bor V'tul Ezer Shetir, so you take whichever portion you want first. So according to Rashi, it seems that anything that have something that comes, there's a first and a second, the kohen should be first.
That's when there's a chalukah. Everyone is equal, so you should have a kohen first. When you're in line, you have a split, you don't have to give of your own stuff to the kohen. But when everyone is mischalik, so you have the mitzvah to give the kohen first.
But this chalukah also, everyone had a portion here. Everyone had a portion.
But in a line, I have a split. When I'm mischalik, I have a place in line.
So here also, everyone has a split. For example, like, if besides the kohen, how do you know who's going to get what? We have to make a goyrel or something. I mean, why should you get more over me?
Right.
So make a goyrel. So the nafal pikim, but the kohen gets first.
Good,
you would make a goyrel.
That's not who gets first, but that's because it belongs to everybody. But when it belongs to me, my place in line belongs to me. I don't have to give the kohen my own stuff. There's no mitzvah to give presents to the kohen. I mean, it's not as going on, but
you say you own something over here. You own a supposed to be here first. Okay, I hear. Okay, 10-9. And they do say over from Rabbi Yashav that maybe something like you were saying, that if I'm going to lose money over it, I'm not required to go give it to the kohen. And if it's a question of time over here, that I need my time, the question I have, I'm going to lose, right? Time is money. So then, so maybe that's what you're saying, something very similar to that. So I hear your chiluk as well. Okay, so very good. So that's a discussion that until what point do we think go ahead and become this halacha of the Kedashta? So first of all, in Shulchan Aruch, it's brought down in a few places, this halacha. First of all, in Reish Aleph, let's do, we'll do Reish Aleph first. Over there it speaks about the halacha of benching. And also over there is some kind of a exclusion in this halacha. So it says like this, in benching also the halacha is that one has to go ahead and let the kohen go ahead and bench first. However, it's brought down that if someone's a Talmud Chacham and the kohen is not Talmud Chacham, is Amoritz, so then the Talmud Chacham comes first. In fact, the Talmud Chacham is not allowed to give over the benching to a Amoritz, and it's considered Masni Hashem, it's considered the hated ones of Hashem. If a Talmud Chacham does do that, he's considered part of the hated ones to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because what he's showing is that the Torah is not chashuv, and that the Amar is more chashuv than the Torah. And when it comes to the halach of kavod, Torah comes before Kehuna. So therefore, even though it's true we're saying over here v'kidashtai, when it comes to a Talmud Chacham comes first. So, of course, waiting in line, you hold yourself a Talmud Chacham. The Zichud Am to go ahead and give it to a kohen who is maybe in back of you.
I mean, I'm not Oretz. It's a kohen, it's an Amma Oretz.
Right, the Talmud Chacham comes first.
There is such a thing, right?
What?
Not a kohen who's an Amma Oretz.
Right.
Could he be in a position of kohen gadol?
He could be, but still, the Talmud Chacham still comes first. It says the field mamzer Talmud Chacham is kohen gadol. Even a mamzer is a Talmud Chacham before a kohen gadol.
Well, why is that way for by Elias? We don't pass him that way.
Because I said, because of Dagger Shol. It's Dagger Shol. It says, Al-Kain Talmud Chacham mitzvah, like, okay. The Kain is a Talmud Chacham, even if there is a Talmud Chacham greater than the Kain, that the Gemara says that that you should still give it to the Kain, as to Mekam Dem V'Kidashtei, and forget the Gemara says, you'll be Zoycha Tarichas Yomim if you do such a thing as well. But you see from this halacha, that if there is no Talmud Chacham, right, then Avadi the Kohen comes first. So let's say you have a Kohen and someone else, and they are for sure on the same level, or for sure if the Kohen is, or just the same level, so the Kohen comes first. So here we have a halacha that the Kehuna comes first, should come first. Except if the Talmud Chacham then is included Masni of Umavis. And then the Mishnah Berurah just says, L'ftayich Rishon, B'kriyas HaTorah, U'levarach Rishon, V'suda, B'berachas HaMaitzi, and B'berachas HaMazayin, and also to Maitzi and Kiddush. All these go under the category of the Kiddashtos. There's no Talmud Chacham there, or he is a Talmud Chacham also, then the Kohen goes first. The Kosa Paiskin, and also included in this is to be Rashi. Medabrim, he says, Mishnah Berurah brings down these halachas that we just read in the Gemara. B'chol kibbutz on, b'lish tchila, he should dash him first, right? And also who adim b'yeshiva, yadav v'roish. And he brings down that from the Magen Avram that this is a mitzvah deraisa. It's not a smachta, it's a mikir mitzvah deraisa. Now the question over here is, let's say the Kohen wants to be Michael, could he be Michael or not? So Mishnah Berurah brings down, Mikol Makom, the Kohen writes a lot like covered lacher, B'chol Zer V'shai, he's allowed to. The only thing we say is by Kriyas HaTorah. By Kriyas HaTorah, he's not allowed to. So, going into this halacha of Kul Kohen B'Michael, it extends itself into a different halacha, but also negeya to us in order to watch out of the shmira of Kedushas Kehuna. And that is, are you allowed to ask a Kohen to do something for you? To do a favor for you, or to do some kind of service for you? And not only that, even could you ask him, and let's say he wants to get paid. Are you allowed to go ahead and ask him to, and he'll get paid for it? So that's halacha Kuf Chof Ches Sif Mem Hey. And it says as follows, brought down the Ramah, also l'shtamish b'kayan. You're not allowed to use a kayan. Afilu b'zmanazeh. Even nowadays you cannot use a kayan. And that diak, even nowadays in the Ramah,
when he has a job.
So we'll explain. What's that? We'll explain. This is moyel behektish. It's moyel behektish. In loy machal kach, unless he's Michael. So the Ramah does bring down this clause. If he's Michael, then you could use a kayan. However, the Taz argues on this. And the Taz says, no, you cannot go ahead and be Michael. A Kohen is not allowed to be Michael, and you're not allowed to use a Kohen. And he brings a raya. He says, because the pasuk of Kiddashtoi is written right after the Yisurim of a Kohen getting married to a Cholol, a Almana, a Gerusha. These are Yisurim that a Kohen is not allowed to do. So he says, this is the shaykh to say, and then it brings down the pasuk of the Kiddashtoi that he should be holy. Does the shaykh to say that a Kohen could be Michael and say, well, I want to marry a Gerusha, or I want to marry an Almana, right, a Kohen Gadol, right, or a Chalola? About it not. You can't decide on your own to be Michael. So says the Taz that this halacha b'kiddashtoi is balkorchai of the Kohen. He is kadosh. He has kedusha, and therefore it's not up to the Kohen to be Michael, and therefore he's not allowed to be Michael. And he argues on the Ramah. In fact, he brings down a story with the Rabbeinu Tam that one time the Rabbeinu Tam asked the Kohen to pour him a drink. So there was a Talmud there and says, it's asur l'shtamish b'kohen. You're not allowed to go ahead and use a kohen. How could you go ahead and use a kohen? And the Rabbeinu Tam was quiet. He didn't answer him. So it seems to imply that from this story that the Rabbeinu Tam held, also like the Taz is saying, that you're not allowed to use a kohen. The fact that he was quiet, you're not allowed to go ahead and mishtamish with a kohen. Because it's not his kahuna to be Michael. It's not something that's yours. It's the halach in the Torah. It's the Raisa b'kiddashtoi. He is holy. The kohen is holy, and therefore he has no choice but to accept this holiness, and he can't be Michael it, and therefore he's not allowed to use the kohen. Now the Taz does say, if let's say he's doing it for schar, he's doing it for payments, so then the Taz says yes, you're allowed to go ahead and use the kohen. He's doing payment. But he says the reason is because he compares it to the mitzvah of Shvisas Behemta and Shabbos. It's just like by Shvisas Behemta and Shabbos, the halach is that you're not allowed to let your animal go ahead into the fields and to do malacha and to do any work, like plow and so forth. But Avadi, the Gemara says that you're not going to lock up your animal in the barn, because the whole point is to have the animal should be a nuach. He should be arrested. He should be resting. If you're locking him up in prison, he's not going to feel good about it. So therefore, you let your animal graze in the fields, and even if he does kaitzer and whatever he does, that's fine, because he's not going ahead and doing it on your tzivui. He's doing it time because you're letting the animal go and rest on his own, or whatever the animal wants to do. And about there's no yisur malach on the animal. The yisur malach is on the person. So he compares the same thing. The whole tachlis of this halacha b'kiddashtoi is that kohen have kedusha. So he says that if a kohen wants to do it and get paid for it, So then it's together. If you're not going to let him do that, you can't make a parnasa. You can't do it. It's together like you're making it worse for the kohen. You're not giving him kedusha. You're giving him destruction. You're giving him a kilchol. So therefore, we say the kohen is allowed to go ahead and work for money. But otherwise, if it's just an Indian of mechila, if it's just an Indian, I just want to go ahead and be Michael, my covet, but I'm not getting anything from it. So you're like going above and beyond and saying, well, I want to Michael my covet. That you have no right to do. That the kohen has no right to do. Because a person doesn't have to live like that. You don't have to live in a way that you have to be Michael your covet. To work and to get money and to make a parnasa, okay, that's derech ha'ilam. And if you don't let him do that, then you'll be sort of tightening the noose on his neck. It's not a derech, it's not a drocher dachinoyim, it's not a way to live. But over here, in this case, since the Ma'aseh said, you want to be Michael, but really the covet should belong to you, that Taz says, you're not allowed to do it. The Magen Avram disagrees, and the Magen Avram says, like the Ramat, you are allowed to go ahead and be Michael. It brings Ma'aseh from different Gemaras that there were Tanai, whatever, that had Kohanim as Avadim and so forth. So therefore, Magen Avram says that, yes, you are allowed to go ahead and have it. And they extend this logic that the Taz says to this as well, because again, the whole vort is covered for the Kohen. So if the Kohen wants to be Michael, so good, that's part of the covenant. That's part of the covenant that he wants to be Michael. If we're going to decide on him, no, you can't be Michael, that's like sort of strangling him. You're not giving him that schus. So where's the nichalei over here? How are we being mekadeshim? Whereas it comes, I the question, you can't be Michael, the Indian of kedushin, you can't marry a davar asula. So the Magen says, what's the shaykhus over there? It's an avera. An avera, you can't go ahead and say, I'm Michael on my kedusha to do the avera. The Torah already told me, you're not allowed to do the avera, so finished. Meshain over here, when it's in of covet, a covet is given over to the person. He's a baal boss on the covet. If I don't want the covet, that's the covet. The covet is, I don't want the covet.
According to the Taz, Baruch Rishon, the Kohen could be Michael on that. According to the Taz.
Yes.
He's asking him that he could be Michael on that. Why? It's the same thing.
What do Baruch Rishon? No, according to the Taz, you can't.
Even Baruch, the Mechuyev to be Baruch.
Yeah, Mechuyev. You can't be Michael.
What about when they have sometimes in a sudo and there's a kohen there and the balabais and the mechilos are kohanim and you give them
so okay, that's all good. No, the Torah doesn't help. So unless you ask Mechila b'feirish, you can go to the kohen. But even according to the Taz, I mean, you ask Mechila, it's not going to help. It's not going to help. But it could be that but the Mishnah Berurah says, so what do we do with this machlokes? So it seems the Mishnah Berurah says you could be Mekel, you could be Mekel like the Magen Avram. He just says one clause. He says, L'shtabish b'em shruis b'zuyos b'advar yesh nizar. To mishtabish the kohen as a service of a bezuya, then you can't do. So for example, let's say he's a plumber, okay? Now, I saw brought down the halacha, a kohen shouldn't become a plumber because he's using his service for, even though it's a parnas or whatever it is, but it's a mishtabish b'em shruis b'zuyos, that you can't do that. It's not clear in the Mishnah Berurah if it's even for schar or not. It seems in the Mishnah Berurah that it's mashma not for schar. But Lamaisa, I think I saw brought down the halacha that people that are kohanim shouldn't become plumbers or these kind of things, where they have to serve out shtamish zuyus. There's this halacha b'kidash that you shouldn't go ahead and do it.
Is the kohen allowed to fix his own plumbing?
What?
Is the kohen allowed to in his own home fix his plumbing or anything like that?
For his own self?
Yeah.
Because
he's not being, he's allowed to be mishtamish with
right, because the Isser is you to mishtamish with a kohen for these things, but he himself for himself is allowed to do whatever he needs to do for himself. That's himself.
So
in fact, also the halacha is brought down, a kohen could use another kohen. The kohen is allowed to use another kohen, right? For ishtamshus. It's just a Yisroel. Now there's also a question of a Levi. Could you use a Levi, have a Shem with a Levi? So they want to bring a raya from one of the Neidel Shimchas that they bring in the bris. It says Neidel Shem B'Seichel Menai B'Rishus says HaKoyen V'Ha Levi. So it seems when you're Koyen V'Ha Levi, V'Aistois that Levi also has Indian Kedusha. Levi has Indian Kedusha, which okay, but Levi is still mechuyev to Mechab the Koyen. That's our Parsha of Korach over here. Korach was a Levi, so what? Can't argue with the Kehuna. But the Maisa, Levi also has a Kedusha. However, other ones say that no, a Levi does not have. And the Girsa that we are going over there, but Nelishim Verimai, is not HaKoyen V'Ha Levi, but it's HaKoyen HaLevi. Because the Koyen, which is the Levi, that you ask rishus. But a Levi itself is not a halacha that you have to ask rishus.
Why is a Levi Mevarach second?
What?
Why is a Levi Mevarach second?
By where?
By Kriyas Torah, for example.
Why is he Mevarach second?
Yeah, isn't that right that we have some kind of concept of a Levi?
Yeah, but that could be also Drechet Achanoim. That's why I was just want to make a status. That we don't see anymore anything. The Gemara says like that. Yeah. So now we have these two halachas, right? That from the Toich Rishon, you're not allowed to be shtamish with them. You have to bench first. So here we have the question that what's your name? Is that? Yonason was Bavarni over here. L'chayra, why is it nowadays that we don't seem to be too backward about this going ahead? And being mechaber the kohen v'kidashtai, or let's say over here by these halachas over here by ishtamshus, people don't really are concerned about it. Why isn't that? So Magen Avraham says, the Magen Avraham says the big chiddush. He says Efshar could be that now we don't know for sure who is a kohen and who's not a kohen. We don't have a yichus brief. We don't have a yichus brief to tell us who is considered a kohen and who's not a kohen. And therefore, since the suffix, he says, then I guess you're not mechuyev al suffix to go ahead and to
still a suffix the rice.
What?
Still a suffix the rice. And still is going to make a bracha. Shekel shon mit just the arm is the Shem Malchus to be the Gehanim.
Right, very good. You make a bracha on this on Birkus Kohen, and also the halacha pidyon ben, where the kohen takes the money. If the halacha is that we're mesupik, if the kohen is a kohen, so how do you take the money? Or at least he should have to give it back. So this is a very big shaila. The Yavitz, what? Right, no, so you should have to give it back.
Because once he's muhsik, the kohen, if he has suffix, he said to the kohen is now muhsik.
Yeah, but what right did he have to take it? What right do you have to take the money? I'm only giving it to you. I'm only giving it to you because you're a Vadi Khan. I do pay their bed.
But the points mechavero, once I have it now, once you give it to me, now you're the moitzi.
I'm not giving it to you unless my kid is podoi. If my kid is not podoi, I'm not giving it to you. I'm not giving you the money. I don't want to give you the money. So that's Hesishke Murzuk. A Murzuk is when you have a taina. You have no taina. Your taina is that I'm a kohen and I'm going ahead and be paid your money. You have Mishkan taina now. Who says you're a kohen? And I never gave it to you, I'll task Kain. I'm not saying I'm giving you money. Only dafka if you're a kohen. You don't have that, and you don't have the vadoi brura that you have a kohen. Now the Yavitz Taka says, there's a lot in Shulchan Aruch like this, then Shulchan Aruch is brought down, that you don't have to give back the money, it's true. But he says that Shulchan Aruch says, don't do it every time. I'm going to keep the money, he says, because you're going to cause a hefset with kahuna. Because everyone's going to run to this kohen getting back all the money, right? So everyone's going to run to this kohen, so you'll be mastered all the other kohenim. So he says, even if you give back the money, it's okay, but don't do it every single time. But the Yavitz says, Bisman hazeh, mamish verkehrt. Now you should give back the money all the time. Why? Because since it's a Safek kohen, we don't know for sure he's a kohen, so maybe you should give back the money. And he says that whoever is a Bechor should continuously pay himself, and like we know from the Meiser of the Vilna Gaon, right? Until he got to Mishpachas Rappaport, which we know is a Meyuchas Tikka Mishpacha in Kehuna. Once he got a Rappaport that he gave his pigeon to, he didn't do it anymore. But until that time, whenever he would meet a Kayan, he would go ahead and be paid himself again and again. Why? Because this halacha, we're Mesupik if he's a Kayan. Now, and it's also brought in Shulchan Aruch, also is brought down.
Money back every time?
What?
Is he getting the money back every time?
Who? Is he getting money back every time? That was up to the Kayan. And there's also a lot in Shulchan Aruch. It says, the Ramat brings down that if one is making challah on Pesach, you shouldn't take off challah until after you make the matzah. Why is that? Because if you go ahead and we talk about Yom Tov time, because if you go ahead and take off challah before on Yom Tov, what do you do with it? You can't bake it. Why can't you bake it? Because nobody can eat it. It's challah. You can't give it to anybody. So it's going to become chametz. So therefore, you shouldn't take off challah until after it's baked. That's the brought down. So says the Shulchan Aruch, v'yesh oimrim, and some people say that you could give it to a kohen katan. You give it to a katan. So however, he says, but the minhag is we don't give it to anybody. We don't give it to anybody. Why don't we give it to anybody? So the Meforshim bring down because we're not sure who is a kohen. So here we have over here this halacha, Meforshim Shulchan Aruch, that also brings down this kind of suffix. If the person is considered a kohen or he's not a kohen, it says, "V'yesh oimrim she'ein machil challah b'zman hazeh l'shum kohen." We don't give challah b'zman hazeh, but it's only a yesh oimrim in the Ramah. But the first halacha in the Ramah says, "V'yesh kohen katan shlo yirua keri agadol shetov lekeri mutal nafis a challah b'shvilo." It's only talking about challah chutzlarts, because challah eretz Yisrael you can't give because that was from Beis, so you can't give. But challah chutzlarts you could give. And then v'yesh oimrim you don't give any kohen, but that's only a yesh oimrim. So the Ramah, the Shittas stems, because the Ramah, who is talking about Bisman Hazeh in our times, and says, Asal l'shtamish in a kohen, you're not allowed to mishtamish in a kohen, is the same Ramah over here, who holds that you could give challah, b'chutz la'aretz, to a cotton who is, it has to be a cotton because it wasn't the Yitzhak Tum Magufay, so it has to be a cotton. But who had done a gadol? If he was Taivel, the Keriyai, in what we call it, in Ma'am Kaim, so then also even to a gadol you can give it to as well. So the Ramah Shitasa would fit that Bisman Hazeh, not like the Yeshayimim, which is this Magen Avram that says Mesupik, but the Ramah would fit according to the Shitasa that there is one. So we see that even though the Magen Avram suggests this teretz, why people nowadays are not makbid on it, but we see first of all the Ramah doesn't say like that, and the Mishnah himself, he brings down the Magen Avram. He doesn't bring him down. He just says the Magen Avram. He brings down the Magen Avram's kasha. He says the Magen Avram asks, "Why does man say we're not going to be makbid on this halacha?" And he just says the Magen Avram gives some kind of limutzchus. You see that the Mishnah himself did not hold also of Magen Avram. The Yaibus, on the other hand, held a mice like that. That's considered Safek Kehuna. It's not a Safek. And the Shai Tshuva also brings down in a few places, at least two places, also this whole Shabbataya and the Nafkaminas. Now it comes out Nafkaminas Maisa. There was a real story. The Shvus Yaakov brought down Shvus Yaakov. There was a person, a kohen, that got married, and years later they remembered that this lady was a chalutza. She had a previous, she was a almana from a previous marriage where the husband died, and there was a brother, and they had no children, and he gave her chalitza. Everyone forgot about it, and then a kohen married her. And then people started to remember, hey, what's that over here? She got chalitza. So what's the halacha? Do you have to go ahead and divorce her or not? So Shvus Yaakov says, he uses this halacha l'maisa. He says that you're not mechuyev to divorce her. Because since this kohen is a Safek kohen, so therefore it's not a vadei kohen, so he can stay married to her. However, he says it's only over here, because the halach of chalutza to kohen is a drabonon. It's not a deraisa. He was only saimich on it for drabonons. Even though he brings down a Chuvas Marsham that says that even for a deraisa, in his case was actually also, I mean, it wasn't a valid deraisa, it was a kshash deraisa. His case was the case of Shvuya over there, and that was the bigger chiddush because he marked l'chatchila. There was a woman that was a Shvuya, and the halach is by a shvuya. We don't know what happened to her, and probably the goyim were ma'anis her, and therefore he'd be usher to go ahead and to marry her. Afal Pika the Masham mated l'chatchila to get married, but the Shvus Yaakov did not mated l'chatchila. He said that with the Eved that since he married her already, so the halach is that you could go ahead and stay married. Now someone over here mentioned how do you make brachos, right? If it's a suffix, I can do siyas kapayim. So that's not such a shverkeit because the Gemara asks the kasha. How do you make brachos by Ner Chanukah, right? How do you make brachos by every drabanan? So Gemara says no sasur. So once the rabbanon established that this is the din, so mela, so it could be that the rabbanon established the halach is that they should be noig as kainim. So therefore, we're not. You can make brachos as well. However, like by brachos by brichos kainim, and even the bracha picking a ben also is a bracha, right? So that's all. So where is the whole sugya over here? This whole sugya, this is a very interesting sugya. Where does it all come from? So there's a Gemara in Kedusha, Daf Kes. Over there, really, it speaks about this shaila, and the question over there was they were all from Bavel, to Eretz Yisrael in the time of Beis Sheni, and they had to be mevar who were kainim, and there were certain people that came to get verification, and the Nehemiah told them to bring Sefer Yosef. Where's the Sefer Yosef? And they couldn't find the Sefer Yosef. It's in Kedusha, Daf Samachtes. So the Gemara says, it says, V'yeshva kainim v'alvim in ha'am, v'amishayim v'ashayrim, v'nasim v'ayreim v'choyto, sorry, it says, Umibnei kainim b'nei chavir b'nei hakoytz, b'nei barzilei, asher lochav b'nei barzil v'lodi, Isha, they intermarried, and the question was on their yichus. So they came, and Asashta said to them, okay, who was Asashta? That was Nehemiah, I think. Asashta. He said to them, Lo yochel mikosh hakadoshim. You cannot do the avoid in the Beis Hamikdash. You cannot eat mikosh hakadoshim. Ad amar kain l'um tumim. Until the Mashiach comes, that's the kain l'um tumim. Didn't have l'um tumim in the Vaysh Sheni. Until the l'um tumim comes, that's a mevayer on you if you're a kain or not. So the way asks a question. Harei atam b'ches kosam. L'chayra, you have a chazaka. B'ma'isa oislam b'goyla b'kachet vol. You ate when you were in Bavel, truma, because there are certain parts, even outside Yisroel, truma drabanan, that they were the second that they should eat truma. Afkan nami b'kachet vol. So here also you should be able to eat truma. So here also, so the Gemara says, you're right, truma you can eat. You have a chazaka for truma, you can eat truma. But kachim you don't have a chazaka for. You never ate kachim in Bavel, so you can't eat kachim now. So Gemara says, what do you mean? But if you eat truma, so people see you eating truma, so be milam mit truma liyuchsin. They'll see once you're eating truma, they'll say, okay, you can get married in Kehuna, you can do the avodah and so forth. So the Gemara says, no, shani hasam dereya cheskasayu, your chazaka is nisra. Your chazaka became a reyes in your chazaka. That means you lost your chazaka. And then the Gemara goes into a shayla, even if you could eat truma, if you could eat truma drabanan or just deraisa, because since in Bavel you only ate truma drabanan, maybe over here you could only eat truma drabanan, not truma deraisa, it's machlokes, and there are two truths in the Gemara. But the bottom line is that the Gemara says this sprach, this lashon, that marai chaskasayu, your chazaka was broken because you didn't have it till now. That means like this: for whatever you have a chazaka for, and I'm sure in Bavel they duchened and they ate truma, and all those things they have a chazaka. So therefore, you can make a bracha, and you could do pidyon ben, because all those things they did in Bavel. So that much the Gemara says it wasn't marachas kasayu. They have a chazaka, but for kachim, then we don't go ahead and say they have a chazaka. So the shayla, so what does the Ivets hold? And those other sheets of the Magen Avraham, what does he mean to say that when he said that there were a suffix if they're real kainim or not? So there is a whole discussion on this Gemara how to learn in the Poskim. When the Gemara says marachas kasayu, the Gemara, does that mean that Mamish's Chazaka is married, that there's Taka Safik in his Chazaka, right? Or only over here, the Gabi Kachim, the Gabi Achilles Kachim, do we say this halacha? And it's a little bit beyond over here, this discussion. But that's really the Nekudas over here. It comes from this studio over here, Samar Tesla page, we'll look at it afterwards. But that's where it comes from. How weit to learn up this Marachas Kasai? What does the Marachas Kasai mean? You see Rashi and Taisus. According to Rashi, it's not such a raya. Marachas Kasai, according to Taisus, it is. But that's the Nekuda of how far we say Marachas Kasai. So again, so the Shas Yaakov held, the Gemara says Marachas Kasai, they lost their Chazaka. So at least with Rabbanans, we can be samech on that. Or for example, there's a halacha that a Yisroel should not marry a Bas Kain. It's not a good mazel. If Yisroel marries a Bas Kain, unless the Yisroel is a Talmud Chacham. If the Yisroel Talmud Chacham, you can marry a good one. On that, the Tzemach Tzedek says you can be samech on this Shas Yaakov that says that since they lost their chazaka, you can make a sign bisman hazeh that they can marry a Bas Kain. So for certain things they use that to go ahead and. But Avada, the most poskim hold that the Ma'is of the Kain has established halacha of the Kain, and therefore this halacha of the Kiddush does apply, and the person should be nayeg, like we said, it's a deraisa, something deraisa. So Avada, you should be nayeg with Kiddush and call Inyan the Kedusha for sure, but even not Inyan the Kedusha, if you want to say that you have a schus in line, maybe that's what you were saying. If you lose money, then you're not mechuyev, right? But anything else, if you could give a seat to a kohen that comes into shul or whatever it is, so there's a Inyan the Kiddush. And stam just to think about the inyan of kedusha when you see a kohen. It strengthens our emunah. The Mitzvah Hashem and Meheri Ameinu, they're going to be a Beis Hamikdash that's going to be rebuilt. Every time you see a kohen and you're mechazik your emunah by the Vikidashta, this person is a Vikidashta. He is the one that was set aside from the Chodesh Baruch Hu to go ahead and serve in the Beis Hamikdash. It is mechazik your emunah as well. That you can live with the Beis Hamikdash. Every time you see a kohen, you live with the Amunah in the Beis Hamikdash, with the Amunah that we're going to have Mitzvah Shem from Meheri Ameinu, a third Beis Hamikdash. You're mechazik your Vikidashta. Your Vikidashta, when you see, it'll mechazik your Amunah in the Beis Hamikdash as well. And as far as this halacha, this shaila Safek Kohen, I'll just tell you a story that I read. There was a Bekitz in Emirates. There was a person that wanted to get married, and he met a girl, and this girl was a Geiris. And they came to the Rav, and the Rav started asking questions. And it came out in the story that this guy said he was about Tshuva, so he didn't know too much. He said he was a Kohen. But she was a Geiris, and she knew more than him. So when she heard that he was a Kohen, she still left the room. So the Rav camped what was going on. The halacha is that a Kohen cannot marry a Geiris. And what are you going to do? Kitzer, he didn't know what to do. He decided he's going to go to, he's going to exercise. He's going to exercise. He's going to ask a shaila by his Rabbi, Rav Gusman. Rav Gusman, right? He had like yeshiva in Rechavia. Not necessarily Chesed. But he was the Adam Gadol at Oheiv. He was from the Yanim in Vilna, and he was like 33 or something when he was dying, and when he came to the Siyah Gedola, when Chavetz Chaim saw him, Chavetz Chaim stood up for him. He was a grace. And he escaped the war. Baruch Hashem, he came to America first, then went to Yisroel. But he came to Rav Gusman, and Rav Gusman said, she told him the Shaila, that there was a man, a lady, and this and that. So Rav Gusman told him, this is what he said to him: who says his father's a kohen? Who says his father's a kohen? And then he said something like, and who says she's not Jewish? So why did he say that? Why did he say that? Because he told this lady, this Geiris, wasn't stomach it. She was a tremendous Baal Chesed. She did tremendous Chesed. She would go out to the hospitals, all the women that had given birth, she would give them, help them and so forth. So he said, Zamiras Chesed has to stem from Yichus Yisroel. Can you say? So I didn't know what to do with that. He came back to America. So he met this guy, Mark. His name is Mark. He said, I went to my Rabbi. He says, who says your father's a kohen? I said, I know he's a kohen. He got first aliyah. Go find out. Kitzer, he found a gabbai, the old gabbai from the shul. He used to down and so on. He was mavur that the guy was never a kohen. That his father was never a kohen.
And his father was never a kohen.
Yeah, I know myself as a Baal Tshuva that when he first became a Baal Tshuva, he was a kohen. A lot of Baal Tshuva become kohen and refer to them as Baal Tshuva. Why? Because his father was called up to Leah first. His father wasn't from, right? Anyway, they found his grandfather on the tombstone. There was no sign of Kehuna, whatever it was. So he asked his father, why son is on a kohen, but they called you up first? He said, they called up first. They called first. Kitzer, then a week later, he gets a phone call from this girl that went, not because the Rav said, it's not, she wanted to research her roots. She went to Europe, and the kids that came out that her grandparents were buried in a Jewish place of forest, in the shtetl that she found out, and so forth, and it came out that either she came out was Jewish or whatever it was, but so what is this? The story just comes to tell us that he was a Maisa, that he thought was a kohen. I came on the Maisa, she says, he wasn't a kohen. So the Maisa, it could happen that, but again, a chazak is a chazak, and that's what we're saying. We shall be the Zoicha, Mitzvah to the kind of the Kiddushtoi, the Shleimus, the Zoicha to the Meher, the Amen, Mashiach, and the third base of Mitzvah. Amen.